The lawyer slid the divorce papers across the table like they were poison. Sarah stared at the signature, her husband's name, bold and final. 7 years of marriage, gone in black ink. "You're useless," he'd said 3 weeks earlier, his voice cold as stone. "What kind of woman can't give me children? I'm marrying someone who actually works." Now, at 35, Sarah sat alone in her tiny apartment, the kind with peeling paint and a bathroom door that never closed right. She was a school teacher. Her salary barely covered rent. And according to everyone who mattered, she'd failed at the one job that counted. Her sister called that evening. "Move back home. Forget this independence nonsense. You need family now." But Sarah couldn't breathe in that house. Couldn't stand the pity in her mother's eyes or the whispers at Sunday service. So instead, she walked. Just walked, with no destination, until her feet stopped at iron gates she'd passed 100 times but never entered. The sign read, "City Children's Home." Something pulled her inside. The orphanage smelled like old soap and boiled vegetables. Children's laughter echoed from somewhere distant, but the hallway felt hollow. A tired woman in a faded uniform looked up from her desk. "Can I help you?" Sarah's voice cracked. "I just wanted to see the children." The woman studied her for a long moment, then nodded. "Follow me." They walked past rooms with bunk beds stacked 3 high, past walls covered in crayon drawings of families that didn't exist. Then they reached the corner room, the quiet one. 5 girls sat huddled together on one mattress, arms wrapped around each other like they were drowning, and each sister was the only life raft. The oldest looked maybe 10. The youngest couldn't have been more than 4. "Those are the Fletcher sisters," the woman whispered. "Been here 8 months. Parents died in an accident. No relatives wanted 5 kids at once." Sarah's heart cracked open. The oldest girl, thin, with eyes too serious for her age, noticed Sarah watching. She pulled her sisters closer, protective, suspicious. The second girl had a football tucked under her arm like a treasure. The twins in the middle held hands so tight their knuckles had gone white. And the youngest sucked her thumb, face buried in her oldest sister's shoulder. "People come look at them sometimes," the woman continued. "But nobody wants 5. Too expensive. Too complicated. Some want to split them up, take just 1 or 2, but they refuse to separate. So they stay." Sarah couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. "How long will they wait?" The woman's face went sad. "Until they age out, I suppose. Unless a miracle happens." That night, Sarah didn't sleep. She saw those 5 pairs of eyes every time she closed hers. Heard her ex-husband's voice. Useless, useless, useless. But what if that wasn't the end of her story? What if it was the beginning? 3 days later, Sarah walked back through those iron gates with a folder full of papers and a heart full of terror. Her bank account had $200. Her apartment had 2 bedrooms. Her family thought she'd lost her mind. "You're single, broke, and want to adopt 5 children," her sister had screamed into the phone. "Are you trying to destroy yourself?" Maybe. Or maybe she was trying to save herself, and 5 little girls nobody wanted. The orphanage director looked at her application like it was written in crayon. "Miss Sarah, this is highly unusual. These children need stability. Resources. You're freshly divorced, working 1 teaching job. I'll get a 2nd job. Your apartment is too small. We'll make it work. You have no support system. I have love." Sarah's voice didn't shake. "Isn't that what they need most?" The director sighed, long and heavy. "Love doesn't pay for school fees. Or food. Or 5 futures. Then I'll work until it does." 6 weeks of interviews, home visits, and background checks later, Sarah stood in that corner room again. This time, with signed papers that said those 5 girls were hers. The oldest girl, Emily, stared at the papers, then at Sarah. "You're taking all of us? Every single one? Why?" The question came out like a challenge, like Emily had learned not to trust promises. Sarah knelt down until they were eye to eye. "Because families don't get left behind. Not on my watch." For the first time in 8 months, Emily cried. Then all 5 girls collapsed into Sarah's arms, A tangle of tears and disbelief and something that felt dangerously close to hope. The orphanage staff watched in silence as Sarah led her 5 daughters out through those iron gates. Some shook their heads. Some whispered prayers. One older woman smiled and said quietly, "Either she's crazy, or she's about to teach this whole town what love really means." Sarah didn't look back. She couldn't afford to doubt now, because 5 pairs of eyes were watching her, waiting to see if this promise would break like all the others. And Sarah had just made a vow to herself. She would rather die than let these girls down. What she didn't know was that 20 years later, those 5 abandoned girls would do something so unthinkable, so breathtaking, that the entire nation would stop to watch. But first, they had to survive. The first night, all 5 girls slept in Sarah's bed because none of them would let go of each other. Sarah took the couch. Her back screamed by morning, but when she walked into that bedroom and saw 5 peaceful faces for the first time in months, the pain didn't matter. Reality hit by day 3. Sarah's landlord knocked on the door, face twisted in annoyance. "Your lease says maximum 4 occupants. You've got 6 people crammed in here now. They're children. I don't care if they're puppies. Rules are rules. Fix it or leave." Sarah spent that afternoon applying for bigger apartments she couldn't afford. Every landlord took one look at "single mother of 5" on the application and suddenly remembered the unit was already rented. By week 2, Sarah was working double shifts, teaching during the day, cleaning offices at night. She'd come home at midnight smelling like bleach and find Emily, the oldest, still awake, keeping watch over her sleeping sisters like a tiny soldier who'd forgotten how to rest. "You should sleep," Sarah whispered. "What if you don't come back?" Emily's voice was small in the dark. Sarah sat on the edge of the bed and took Emily's hand. "I will always come back. That's a promise I'll never break." But promises didn't pay bills. The town started talking. Of course they did. At the market. That divorced teacher adopted 5 kids. She can barely feed herself. At church. Those poor girls. No father figure. They'll turn out wild, just watch. At school. I heard she's working 2 jobs and still can't afford proper shoes for them. The gossip reached Sarah's family. Her mother showed up unannounced, took one look at the cramped apartment and the girls sharing clothes, and exploded. "This is madness. You're destroying yourself for children that aren't even yours." Sarah's voice went ice cold. "They are mine. And if you can't support that, there's the door." Her mother left. Didn't speak to her for 2 years. But Sarah kept going. She discovered things about her daughters slowly, like unwrapping gifts she didn't know she'd been given. Chloe, the second oldest, lived for football. She'd kick a rolled-up sock against the wall for hours, eyes blazing with focus. One day, Sarah used her last savings to buy Chloe real football boots. Chloe cried so hard she couldn't speak for 10 minutes. The twins, Olivia and Grace, were inseparable and brilliant. They read every book Sarah brought home twice, asked questions that made Sarah's brain hurt, and announced at age 8 that they wanted to fix sick people. Sophie, the youngest, had a voice. Not just any voice, the kind that made strangers stop walking when she sang in the apartment. Church songs, school songs, made-up songs about missing her parents. Every note carried weight. And Emily. Emily was the protector, the worrier, the one who counted every coin and asked, "Can we afford this?" before accepting anything. She watched Sarah sacrifice and decided, somewhere deep in her 10-year-old heart, that she'd pay it all back someday. Years crawled by like wounded animals. Sarah got evicted twice. Moved into places with mold on the walls and rats in the kitchen. Wore the same 3 dresses for 4 years straight. Ate rice and beans so many nights in a row that Sophie once asked if other foods still existed. The school where Sarah taught cut her hours. She picked up weekend shifts at a restaurant, serving people who sometimes recognized her and whispered loud enough for her to hear. "Isn't that the crazy woman with all those kids?" One terrible month, Sarah got sick. Fever so high she couldn't stand. No money for a doctor. Emily, now 13, took charge, got her sisters to school, cooked meals, brought Sarah water every hour. "You're supposed to be the kid," Sarah whispered, delirious. "You taught us family takes care of family," Emily said simply. "So we're taking care of you." That's when Sarah knew with absolute certainty that every sacrifice was worth it. But the town didn't see that. They saw 5 girls in second-hand uniforms. Saw Sarah's exhausted face and spreading gray hairs. Saw what looked like failure. What they didn't see was Chloe scoring goal after goal at school tournaments until scouts started showing up. Didn't see the twins winning every science competition they entered. Didn't see Sophie's voice making people weep at church. Didn't see Emily reading business books she borrowed from the library, dreaming bigger than anyone imagined. Sarah saw it though. She saw it when she worked night shifts and came home to find the girls had cleaned the entire apartment and left her a hand-drawn card that said, "Best mom in the universe." She saw it when Chloe got selected for the regional football team and dedicated every goal to "my mom who believed first." She saw it when the twins got full scholarships to medical programs and Grace whispered, "We're going to make you proud." She saw it when Sophie sang at a national competition and brought the entire auditorium to tears, then ran off stage straight into Sarah's arms. She saw it when Emily, at 17, started a small business selling handmade jewelry and used every single coin of profit to buy Sarah new shoes. "I'm going to be rich one day," Emily promised, fierce as lightning. "And you'll never work this hard again." Sarah laughed it off. But Emily didn't laugh. Emily meant every word. The years nobody saw were the years that mattered most. The years of scraped knees and homework tears. The years of birthday cakes made from whatever was in the cupboard. The years of Sarah whispering, "You can do anything," into 5 pairs of ears until they believed it like gospel truth. By the time the girls were grown, something had shifted. They weren't just surviving anymore. They were becoming. Subscribe before you miss what happened next, because what these 5 women did for the mother who chose them will destroy you in the best way possible. Emily's business plan was just the beginning. Wait until you see what Chloe did on that football field. Ready for Chapter 3, the moment that changes everything? 20 years disappeared like smoke. Sarah turned 60 on a Tuesday. She woke up in the same small house she'd managed to buy 15 years earlier. Nothing fancy, but it was hers. Paid off with blood, sweat, and 1,000 extra shifts she'd never get back. Her knees hurt now. Her back complained every morning. The mirror showed a woman who'd aged faster than her years. Gray hair like silver threads, hands worn rough from decades of work. But she'd done it. All 5 daughters had graduated. All 5 had left home to chase dreams Sarah had helped them build. She hadn't seen them much lately. They were busy, successful and scattered across the country. Video calls on Sundays when schedules allowed. Birthday messages that came with apologies for not visiting. Sarah told herself it was fine. This was what she'd wanted. For them to fly. Even if flying meant leaving her behind. The doorbell rang at noon. Sarah opened it to find Emily standing there, dressed in an expensive suit that screamed success. Behind her, a sleek black car with tinted windows. "Mom." Emily's smile was strange. Nervous. "We need you to come with us." "Come where?" "I haven't even dressed properly." "Doesn't matter. Just trust me. Please." Something in Emily's voice made Sarah's stomach flip. "Is everyone okay? Did something happen?" "Everyone's perfect. I promise. Just come." The car ride lasted 30 minutes. Emily wouldn't answer questions, just kept smiling that mysterious smile. They pulled up to a massive iron gate Sarah had never seen before, the kind that belonged to rich people in movies. The gate opened. Sarah's breath caught. Beyond it sat a mansion. Not a house, a mansion, with cream-colored walls, huge windows, a garden that looked like paradise, and a swimming pool that sparkled in the afternoon sun. "Emily, whose house is this? Why are we?" The car stopped. Emily opened Sarah's door and took her hand. "Come see." They walked up the stone pathway. Sarah's heart hammered so loud she could barely hear. Emily led her to the front door, where 4 other women stood waiting. Chloe, in her national team jersey, football tucked under her arm like always. The twins, Olivia and Grace, in their medical uniforms, eyes shining. And Sophie, holding a microphone, that voice about to crack wide open. "What's going on?" Sarah whispered. Emily stepped forward, tears already streaming. "Mom, You spent 20 years giving us everything while you had nothing. You worked yourself half to death so we could dream. You chose us when the whole world said we were worthless." Chloe's voice joined in. "You bought me football boots when you couldn't afford dinner. Drove me to every practice in a car that barely ran. Believed I'd make it when everyone laughed." Olivia spoke next, steady like her surgeon's hands. "You stayed up nights helping us study. Told us we were smart enough, strong enough, good enough, until we believed it." Grace added softly, "You loved us when we were unlovable. When we were angry and scared and broken." Sophie's voice trembled. "You taught us that family isn't blood. It's choice. It's sacrifice. It's showing up every single day even when everything hurts." Emily pulled out a key, placed it in Sarah's shaking hand. "This house is yours, Mom. Paid in full. Every brick, every window, every inch of that garden. We bought it together. All 5 of us." Sarah couldn't breathe. Couldn't speak. "The gate sign," Chloe said, pointing back. "Go look." Sarah turned. Above the iron gates, in elegant gold letters, read the words, "Sarah's Palace." Her knees gave out. All 5 daughters caught her, held her up, crying and laughing and holding on like they were little girls again, huddled on that orphanage mattress. How did you?" Emily wiped her eyes. "I own 3 companies now, Mom. Started with that jewelry business you helped fund. Now I employ 200 people." Chloe grinned through tears. "I got signed internationally after scoring 5 goals in 1 match. The match I dedicated to you, remember?" Olivia smiled. "I'm head nurse at the National Hospital." Grace added, "And I won the Junior Doctor of the Year award. We both make good money now." Sophie laughed, "That beautiful sound. My gospel album went platinum. But every song, every single one, I wrote thinking about you." Sarah sobbed. 20 years of exhaustion, fear, sacrifice, and love poured out in gasping, ugly, beautiful tears. "You gave us life," Emily whispered. "So we're giving you the life you deserved all along." They spent that day moving Sarah in, filling the house with furniture fit for a queen, cooking together in a kitchen 3 times the size of anywhere they'd ever lived, swimming in the pool while neighbors stared in shock. The town that had gossiped for decades suddenly wanted to know everything. News crews showed up. The teacher who adopted 5 orphans, look at them now. But Sarah didn't care about the attention. She cared about the 5 women who proved that love was never wasted. 1 year later, something even more impossible happened. All 5 daughters got married in the same month. And they insisted on one legendary joint wedding. 5 brides, 5 grooms, one massive celebration that made the entire nation stop and stare. The venue was packed with thousands. But when the ceremony ended and the reception began, something unplanned happened. Emily stood up, took the microphone, and said, "Before we celebrate us, we need to celebrate the woman who made us possible." All 5 daughters walked to where Sarah sat, pulled her to her feet, and placed a crown on her head, a real crown, glittering and absurd and perfect. "The Queen Mother," Chloe announced. The entire hall erupted. 5 minutes of standing ovation. Grown men crying. Strangers shouting Sarah's name like she'd saved the world. Because in a way she had. She'd saved 5 worlds nobody else wanted. 1 more year passed. Then the calls started coming, one after another. "Mom, I'm pregnant. Mom, we're having a baby. Mom, twins." All 5 daughters gave birth within the same year. 6 grandchildren total, including twin boys from Emily, one of whom they named after Sarah's late father, and a tiny girl they called Baby Sarah. The final scene wrote itself like a fairy tale nobody would believe if it wasn't true. Sarah, now 62, sits in her palace garden surrounded by 5 queen daughters and 6 babies who call her grandma. Visitors come from across the country just to meet her, to hear the story, to remember that miracles still happen when one person decides love matters more than fear. A journalist asked her once, "What's your secret? How did you do it?" Sarah smiled, bouncing baby Sarah on her knee. "Love is the only thing you need. When you love children with your whole heart, they grow wings and fly higher than the sky." She looked at her 5 daughters, the entrepreneur, the athlete, the nurses, the singer, and felt a peace so deep it could drown oceans. "I was called useless once," Sarah said quietly. "Told I was worthless because I couldn't have children. Turns out I didn't need to give birth to become a mother. I just needed to choose love when everyone else chose fear." Emily leaned over, kissed her mom's cheek. "You didn't just save us, Mom. You taught us how to save ourselves." And in that garden, surrounded by the family she built from nothing but faith and stubbornness, Sarah finally understood. She wasn't the hero of this story. Love was. And love never loses. Which daughter's journey hit you hardest? Drop her name in the comments. And if this story reminded you that broken beginnings can have beautiful endings, subscribe, because every week, we bring you stories that prove miracles still happen to people brave enough to believe. If you're still not subscribing, comment why. What's holding you back from joining a community that celebrates real love winning?